Look at it. Show some interest. If you show some interest in it, it will come to you. If you have no interest, it's not going to happen. All right? It's not going to. It's just not going. It's never going to jump out the page at you and come to you. You'll have to go after it. All right? Seek and you shall find. I wanted to say this that I told you. My plan, inshallah, is to do A'i and A'u today, and then E'u and O'i on the first Sunday in June. Also, I want you to think about this, because the first Sunday in July, I think it's going to be the festival kind of a thing, and we can still have a class. What I thought we would do at that time, if it's acceptable to you, is show you something about English that most of us don't know. All right? And so at the end of this class, I'm going to ask you to think about it now and then let me know if you would like to do that for the first. I have students, one of them is sitting over here because he knows my name. I have run into students that I taught years ago in the public school and in Claire Muhammad School who didn't even know my name. Not Babsy, I know you're not Babsy. One of my students here? Oh, no, you have a question?
Yeah, what is your name?
My name is Ajeen Muhammad. But these students, they didn't even, this is before I learned any Arabic. But we were able to present the English in such a simplified way until they remembered the concept better than they remember my name. And they would call me Nat Babsy. I went to a young brother's funeral, one of our starlets in our community, his grandson. And I saw his son there. He knew my name, but he told me, what you told me about Nat Babsy, man, has helped me with my marriage. Because the language is nothing but what comes from the people, all right? Whatever that's in the people, it comes out in the language. That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was trying to tell us when he said, the slave will never be free until he learns the language of his master. We can speak the word, we imitate the word, but we don't really know the language. So that's why I think it would be a benefit for us to go back and understand how to analyze the English language so that it will become more meaningful to us. That's what Brother Akbar was talking about when he said, meaning. When it's meaningful, then you can actually use it. And we don't know English. We know we don't know English. One second. We know we don't know English because as soon as we get something legal, what we say? I got to give me a law. Yes, sir.
That pronunciation of that word, that what did you say?
Oh, that's we'll do. If you're going to be here, so NAPVAPSI. That's an acronym. You won't find that in the dictionary. You have to come to our gene for that. NAP is an acronym. I'll tell you what it is since you asked me. NAPVAPSI is an acronym for the 8 parts of speech: nouns, adjective, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, prepositions, conjunction, and interjections. All right. So that's an acronym. But each one of you knows I said them in 3 syllables. And I don't want to get into it right now, but it's 3 syllables. And how many levels do they say is in the society? Upper class, upper class, middle class, lower class. All right. That's what we'll be talking about when we get to NAPVAPSI. Okay. All right. So can we hold off on that now? All right. I wanted to give you a little something about it so that you can decide on whether or not you want to have that. And since it would be less, I don't know exactly how it's going to be, but it'll be less formal, I imagine, for the 7th of July. Okay. And by the way, as long as I mention this, y'all don't know this, but I'll share it with you anyway. This is a revelation for you, all right? My best student is right here in my ear. She's down in Arkansas, but she's listening. And she's the one who brought it to my attention. You're going to have to make some changes in our plan, because if you're not she said Chicago on the first Sunday in July, then you won't be able to give your lesson. She brought that to my attention because I was planning to be down there and had forgotten that was interrupting with the first Sunday. So she said, what we'll do, we'll leave Saturday night, 12 o'clock, I don't care who, because we have a school reunion. I don't care who wanted to talk to you. 12 o'clock Saturday night, we're heading out. And she's a driver. She used to drive a 18-wheeler. So, as a matter of fact, only somebody in the world that ever brought me from Arkansas to Chicago, and I didn't drive a lick. It never happened to me before. Okay, let's get back to the class now. All right, she's probably... Okay, all right, so now, let me see what... I have a few more here. Let me give you Cheyenne, a few more examples. No, yeah, definitely want to give you a few more because I have a couple that kind of changed. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to change gears now. All right. So I want to definitely give you these. What would change here mean that you have to employ something else in order to see the diphthong. So let's take this one. We have the word man, and we have Yahoo. Now here's what it is. Men is a word. In this case, with the vowel up here, it means like who, all right? But what happens is, the rules of Tajweed allows them to drop the noon and double the ya. So we don't say man, we say may. May Yaqul. May Yaqul. That's the rule of Tajweed, all right? So you're not pronouncing actually what's there, which is man Yaqul. It's easy to say may Yaqul. May Yaqul. So this is what I want you to understand this also, and that is that sometimes letters are ignored in pronunciation. So while this word is man, it's not pronounced when we read it as man Yaqul. It's pronounced may Yaqul. Say man Yaqul. Now say may Yaqul. Which one is easier? May Yaqul. May Yaqul. So that's what Tajweed is. It comes from the word jawada, which means to make easy. To make it easy, all right? So I wanted you to see that because if you don't know this, then you read this man Yaqul. And it's impossible to read it correctly because you have a shadda. This is what you need to know. Anytime you have a shadda, that's that little W up there, at the beginning of a word, that's telling you something. And you need to obey it. It's telling you that there are two of these. That's the first thing it's telling you. And the first one is sukoon. So if it's sukoon, you don't have a place to start because it has no vowel sign on it. So it's may. You're taking the a and going with the may. So this now becomes the same combination we have up here. A. May Yaqul. And that is from those who say. Who say. That's where that's coming from. And I think that's the 2nd chapter and the 8th verse. Yeah, when it says, from among men, those who say we believe. That's why this is coming from. May Yaqul. So that's the 2nd chapter and the 8th verse. Also, while I'm mentioning that, anytime you see, I'm going to write this down here in the erase. Anytime you see this word like this, it can't be pronounced by itself. You have to pronounce it with the word that came before it. All right? So whether it's a, e, or u, it's going to be pronounced with the word before. If the word before it ends in a, then it's going to be pronounced awa. If it's with e, be iwa. If it's oo, then it's not diphthong. It just be oo. And instead of making it short, we make it long. All right? I'm going to erase that, but you run into this word like this. Many, it's one word. You know, most of you know the meaning of that word. It means and. All right? A-N-D, and. But when you see it written like this, it must be pronounced with the word that came before it. All right? And if the word came before it ends with a or e, then it's going to be a diphthong. And if it ends with oo, then it'll just be a long vowel. But it must be treated like that. All right? So I think we're going to run into some of those. I went and did all this homework. Somewhere I don't remember exactly what happened. All right? So that one is a word combination. Here it was diphthong within the word. All these diphthongs within the word. Now this is a diphthong from one word to another. You remember I told you about that? That's a different circumstance. Word over here, joined with the word over here, and wind up with a diphthong. All right? All right. Then we have shayin. Well, kasay. Let's do kasabin. Kasabin. Ka. Kasabin. All right. Kasabin. And this example, now we have a diphthong, say. I'm sorry. This should be say ya. Say yabin. Okay, and that is in 2nd chapter and the 19th verse. And then we have Ya ayyuhan nasu budu. That's why this is coming from the 21st verse here. Well, I didn't give you shayin. Yeah, shayin is in the 20th. So there's shayin, shay,